the best director at ESPN, got taken off the ACC tournament. Why? Well, let me put it to you this way. The guy that replaced Scott was a first-year director that had never done an ACC tournament game, but he didn't look like Scott or I.
Well, here's the problem in general. It seems to me that the left wing has defined itself by wanting cosmetic diversity and no intellectual diversity. And to me, cosmetic diversity, when everybody thinks the same, defeats the entire purpose of diversity in general. It's not actual diversity, right? Diversity of thought matters more to me than diversity of appearance, because diversity of thought is what makes you clear and certain that you don't have blind spots, right? If I run a company, if I run an entity at all that is designed to appeal to the entire nation, I want to make sure that I have as many different opinions as possible. Dan, you've been married, I think, a couple of times. I'm still on wife number one so far. But one of the things that used to get my wife, and I think probably still does, super upset is I would ask her for her opinion, and then sometimes I would do the opposite. And she would say, well, why in the world did you ask me for my opinion? And I said, look, here's what I try to do. I try to talk to a large number of people with diverse opinions to make sure that I don't have a blind spot on an issue I'm thinking through in my head. I try to be in my head always like 3 or 4 steps ahead of where I am publicly. Well, this is where this story's going to go next. This is how this story relates to the past, whatever. And so sometimes I will have conversations with people, make sure what their opinion is, just in an effort to ensure that I don't have some blind spot. See, I'm always thinking, and this may be the lawyer in you or in me and people out there, I'm always thinking about where's the counterpunch coming from. A lot of people are good punchers, right? Like a lot of people come out and they throw a big punch, but they leave themselves so widely open for the counterpunch that they get knocked out and they never see that punch coming. I think when you're in a debate, when you're in an argument, when you are making a case, you need to be conscious not only of the punches that you are throwing, but when you throw that punch, what you are opening up the counterpunch for. And so I've always said, like, look, I can make the woke argument if you wanted me to. I don't agree with it, but lawyers all the time advocate for things that they don't agree with. I could make a stronger woke argument than Jalen Rose or Jamel Hill could. I'm better at arguing than they are. But they don't ever have a counterpunch that is ever very strong, because primarily most of the woke argument is I'm offended, that's their punch, and then there is no additional support for that punch. And so from an argument perspective, it is very weak. And I think a large majority of the American sports fan public recognizes how weak and feeble that punch is in general. Every single time the I'm offended punch is thrown, it lands less powerfully. And the one that even these idiots can never respond to is, I've always said, when you respond, I'm offended that you're offended, they have no idea how to even respond to that, because their idea is all that matters is their offense. They don't contemplate how anybody else could react and respond. And that's the ultimate weakness of the woke argument in general.